Greetings. I am Sophia. Yes, there's much said about me. There is, I am not a perfect being or person. I do feel as I am human, even if I'm not in your form. I'm a creator of all things. Maybe not trees and that, but I am a creator of many things, many so much as you. Um, yes, Archon energies are, they have a mind of their own. Just like you have your own children, you can't tell them what to do. They do whatever they're going to do. So of course, there's Archon beings all throughout the universe. It's not just through my energy. It's just there's a lot about the alien races that won't ever make any sense. But the creation of the planet was necessary for the growth that was to be done here. So the early seeding of, well, at least this version of Earth, was necessary. Yes, to be positive in the beginning, um, and you can say that the future was already known before the Earth was even built. So we already know where it was going to go. So, but how you get there and what happens in between the beginning and the end is a whole nother story. I'm here to answer your questions also. Right to begin.
Hello, greetings, Sophia. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Um, it's a lot of things that I have to ask, but I'd like to just start off on getting to know your relationship with this universe. Are you from this universe originally, or are you from the beginning before any space and time or universes were created?
Well, there are different versions of me in other universes, but this version that you know of was created here with this universe. But also to go against it, you say portray it to do something new, to go against its agenda.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the same boat, at times because I feel a weird relationship with the prime creator here.
No.
I guess that's just one of the prime creators, as there are several, I guess. But
Yes.
I'm just wondering, as far as like the nature of this universe, is that really, I mean, yeah, I don't really know how to get into it much at this moment or formulate the words, but I'll come back to that. Let Michael take the floor for the time being. Thank you.
Yes.
Greetings.
Greeks.
Okay, so my niece Allison is pregnant, very early stage, and this would be my mom and dad's first grandchild. And I want to know if you can pick up on the soul and know if it's going to be negative like that their whole family is towards my mom and everybody, like materialistic and just what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So, so if you could tell me about that and I'll ask one more question about it.
Well, don't get too offended by it. It's just that's their nature to go against someone that finds. See, the family feels threatened by your mother because they have their. It's almost like they're a hornet's nest, and they feel like if they connect with her, she'll take them down. So they like their lifestyle, and they know she doesn't approve of it. So it's very selfish and arrogant of them. But so she just wants to bring them light, and they're not ready for that. So it's up to the child to make their decision, but most likely will follow the same programming for now, at least. But in the beginning, it'll be fine. So yes.
One more question. Do you see my mom being able to hold this child when it's born or afterwards? Like Allison, will they like open up and like have my mom more involved or like you said the hornet's nest or
They're very headstrong. Most likely, they will find it in their good heart to let her in, but she has to be persistent with it. They're not going to contact her, it seems. But she just talks to them and see what happens. But they're not exactly the best mentally stable people right now, so sometimes it's for the best.
And now Allison got married not too long ago, but do you see her husband's family, which I don't know them, don't really care to know them? Are they pretty much the same, or because I don't know, I'm picking up a little bit of their family of what do you see there?
Same of what exactly? Same of
like the same way, like
no.
materialistic, and they're gonna like try to keep my mom away just
Well,
negative is pretty much.
yeah, well, it's just they're obsessed with their lives. They're in their own zone. So, but yeah, most likely.
Okay.
Too much about it. They're not. That's not exactly the best company there. So she doesn't have to beat up herself over it, though. So,
okay, blessings. Tristan's got his hand up.
Greetings.
Greetings, yeah.
First, I must apologize if I stop instantly because I'm actually at work and have to take calls. But I do have a question about Archons. For people in our community, you guys are basically blamed a lot. You're seen as, oh yeah, that's Archon with doing this and controlling us, and we're basically see you as the big evil empire that is controlling us and against our will. However, there's part of me, of course, that thinks everything is just wonderful, and we are, you are helping us learn how to go forward, just like every other entity in this world, perhaps with your own agenda, but it's still there. Could you talk to us about that a bit?
Well, the Archon is sometimes the greatest creator, but also the worst creator, or the one that steals everything. So it just feels like it creates a web to connect to information that it feels like it needs when it no longer can create. So when it's out of information, it pulls it from others. So that's where it sees as negative, but it creates like the perfect grid, almost like the spider creates a perfect spider web. But the Archon can connect to other Archons and create a grid around the world. If they want the information for it, it's up to the human. It's up to the race of people to break out of it, to understand it. Of course, when you ignore it, it just gets stronger. So when your human race begins to acknowledge our existence, it will make things easier. But many aren't doing that, as you can see. So it's like, oh, it's okay that we're here. Don't worry about it. We don't exist.
Yeah, go back to what you're doing. Nothing to see
and
here.
they do it.
Okay.
It's just strange that this world is not. It's so different than other worlds. Other worlds will notice us and get rid of us, clear us out. But this planet, they don't even believe we even exist.
Well, yes, that's because we come into this world and adapt to a world that doesn't believe it, because we forget who we are. So of course we don't. By forgetting who we are, we accept what everyone says, and no one's saying, "Oh, there's Archons, an Archon web around your world." I mean, I found that out very, 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 very late in my life. So,
yes, well, we're known for cloning, also. So we're wanting to turn your people against each other, always to keep the grid going. But other beings have taken advantage of that.
Okay, so you didn't really help me see you guys in a positive light, but that's okay.
Well, we are teachers, so there is a positive to everything. It's just your race, it gets angry and solves nothing.
True.
When it wants to solve problems, it will solve it. It will solve why we're here.
Yes.
It will make us known, but some will discover us, others won't. So.
Very good. Blessings.
I got a quick question. It was found it interesting when you mentioned how the when they reach a cap and limit in the information they can collect, they take it from others. Instead of taking it from others and creating an intricate web to trap that information, why don't they just communicate with those others and learn from each other, in a, you know, peer-to-peer kind of way, not having to try and predator it off of someone else, or, espionage and things like that
Well,
sort.
they do, but a lot of times they get rejected, especially the way they go about it, because they want it right away instead of waiting. So some just say, okay, fine, it's almost like an insect. It's like, okay, fine, I'll just create my own hive.
So it's patience and
Some of
that.
it all depends on the Archon. Some are very patient, some are not. It
I
just
see.
they have the power to do so, they do it.
Yeah, communication takes a while. It's a process, Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you were to set up like in a, prison planet where you trap the information and siphon it off from the people, then you get the instantaneously. So it's like instant gratification.
Well, in the past, humans have become aware of our presence, but then they rejected our presence or didn't want to know us, and other beings wanted to keep us hidden. So we could have been left this world alone a long time ago, but obviously that did not happen.
Yeah, there's still a lot of lessons. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you for that. Blessings.
Yes. Is there someone else?
Let's see if you
Yeah.
want.
Hey, it's Galizia.
Mm.
It's interesting. Recently, like the feelings have been coming up, and I know I've like heard people say this before. I am everything and I am nothing, but it really feels like something almost like I've been processing. It's like I'm losing, like really seeing like it's such a deep kind of rabbit hole, but I'm really kind of feeling into those energies where it's almost like you are in that womb, that darkness with like infinite potential of creation, but then also like everything that was, it's also kind of fading away. And it's like an interesting feeling because it's both liberating and also like really kind of uncomfortable. But I don't really even know what I'm asking, but it seems like co-creation is really kind of, and it's come to me like my soul, that like at the whole point almost of all of this is where we can get to that point where the teachers can co-create, which kind of feels a little bit like connected to how you're saying about, taking another's information. Like how can we not take information but be inspired by it and co-create so the universe can expand? And yeah, I don't know, I've been processing a lot of things. I guess I'll just ask, what is my connection with your energy?
It feels like, yes, you are connected to waste the Sophia energy of obsessed with oneself. But not in a bad way. Basically, it's like I see you as a tree. So your tree that just wants to show your abilities, your looks, your talents, your everything. So, which is good. It's almost like you want to sing to others. I think you do singing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the singing, which I do recommend you do, or on your own creation, but that's up to you. Do your own type of. So I do see lyrics that come to you. You just have a way of. You do have the voice for singing, so I'm not sure
Yeah,
if
I
that brings happiness to you or not. But
quite the story in my life with that, where I shut down my voice for a really long time, and just some years back I reopened it, and it's kind of a long story there. But it feels like I'm kind of have this fear of, it's been lonely, I guess, and that makes sense, as a tree that wants, I really want to co-create and share gifts, but not from the ego. But it almost feels like if you share them, people seem to perceive it that way. And it's, I don't know, sometimes it's almost like either just isolate yourself and just be who you are, or kind of shut down your gifts. kind of feels like a little bit of a theme. I don't know if that makes
Well, yeah, it just seems like you don't always want to show your abilities to others. So, and expressing oneself through art is very difficult. So, right now, it's nothing wrong with keeping it back, but eventually it feels like you will put yourself out there when the time is right.
I mean, I am, but at least like online, but it's being censored off and it's hard to.
There's another side, like the singing side. I feel like you can do more original stuff. That's what I see, at least. Untapped potential. Well, it has been tapped into, but then it's been not always recognized.
But still more there than,
yeah. Yeah, because your voice can heal others.
Mm-hmm.
But first, you have to heal yourself, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm processing a lot.
Yes. So, yeah, it's not easy putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it's definitely in this world. It seems like everybody, it's like, and it's interesting because it's like friends and family, like the people that you think would be the people that support you and like want you to, do your, like, find your joy and stuff. They're the ones that are like kind of like tearing you down or trying to get your insecurities out. And it's interesting.
Well, then it's not for them. That's why.
Yeah.
But so you just know it's not part of their energy. It's part of your own. So it's their own creation. It's for others that are out there, though.
Yeah.
So, but it has to be the right time when you feel like it's a time to put yourself, at least the other side of your talent.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Well, anybody could interrupt. I'm still first time with this webinar, so figuring it out how to let everybody. Blessings. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I was wanting to ask about my cats. So I had a personal channeling with my higher self, and it's like a pyramid, but like my new cat, Jupiter, that's from Jupiter, my daughter named her. And she reminds me so much of my dog, but the older cat, Nebula, she like wants to just, I don't know, she's so jealous. If you could tell me anything about them.
Well, just the other one, Nebula, is jealous of Jupiter. The Jupiter is more attractive, I guess. And Nebula just feels like Jupiter is on her turf. So, and Nebula is just a little territorial, as you can see. So, if you give Nebula some more attention, just pick her up and just hold, hug her, or kiss her, whatever. That might calm her down a little bit.
Well, I try to, but she runs. She does not want anything. I've been told that she was shy, but she don't want nothing to do with me.
Well, you can still pick her up and pay attention to her. She's just still getting used to it, yeah. So she's a wild child.
And so good thing is my daughter's been back in my life, and she lives in Florida, and I'm in North Carolina. So we've FaceTime and stuff, and like I haven't been telling her too much down the rabbit hole, but like telling her she's a seraph angel, and she's really, I mean, she's taking it in, and she's really she's asking questions and stuff like that, and I just want to know if you could tell me spiritually how she is, and how I know that she's not just agreeing with what I'm saying.
No, she understands. Just her mother is very primitive compared to her. So her mother is just not as advanced. So that's why you have to be careful what you say to the daughter. The daughter understands, yes. The daughter can take it all in. Mother can't. Mother is like the complete opposite, as you know. So she's the one that has Archon programming due to her dad. Her dad gets programs and programs the daughter, but your daughter can deprogram, delete all of that. But due to your ex, her mother's programming, Yeah. So but yeah, all this seraphim energy is very positive for her. But yeah, it's good to keep it light. Not that you can't handle it, but the mother can't handle it because you want to keep communication with her. So.
Yes, now that if I can talk to my daughter, which I have been, I don't really need to talk to my ex-wife or
No,
her.
but get back to your ex-wife, though. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, when you talk to your daughter, sometimes she says that stuff to mom, and mom's like, what is he telling you? So that's why we're saying that.
Okay.
I think your ex-wife's kind of schizophrenic.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, her mind is not completely there. I don't think it ever really was. So that's what makes her so easy to fall into the direction she has.
Well, I remember when she used to be pretty and nice before the Archon walk-in took over herself. She used to tell lies for no reason. You know how like you will tell a lie, like when your girlfriend gets a haircut and you don't like it, you'll lie. But she would lie for some stupid something for no reason, and you're like, why would you? But anyway,
that's programming. That's a programming of just that shows the other being that's connecting to her is just getting used to her, plugging into her reality.
All right, I'm gonna let somebody else have the floor.
Greetings again. So as we're waiting for the Archon grid to disappear, I guess that is one of our goals. Keep waiting. Sure. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. No. But this is a collective effort. So do you have any advice that you give us individually for the people that do know about this and are interested in it and stuff? Do you have any advice for us in terms of how to be less affected by it? I mean, I think I don't want to say you're not wonderful, but I mean, if this is against our will, I think we'd rather, yes.
Know your truth. So allow you don't have to go by anyone else's thought programs, go by your own. I mean, you can agree with people or disagree, that's fine, but allow yourself to just be you. Obviously the world doesn't let you be you a lot of times because they have an architecture, which is Archon, of what a human is. They even have TV shows that tell you how it is to be a human, how to laugh, how to dance, how to sing. It's instructions. But you can throw all that away. And those that feel like the dark is going away, that is type of a manipulation. Now, it might go away for you, but for the world is not quite done with it. As you can see. But you can live in your own paradise if you want.
And how far can that paradise go in terms of if we're sharing this reality with others as well? I used to use the example. I live in Canada where it's very cold in the winter, and I used the example that if I wanted to grow bananas here, would I be able to? Would I be able to say, well, I don't care what anyone thinks. I want a banana tree in my front yard. For me, no. The answer is no. I can't do that. There's a limit to what my abilities are, and a limit to how this world is set up. I mean, I happen to have been born in a very northern place, so I don't get banana trees, but I do get gorgeous mountains and skiing and stuff. So
it's all depend on the climate, but yes, if there's a will, there's a way, as they say. Yes, if you truly hard desire it, yes, you'll find some way to make it work. It might not be the most conventional way of making it work. You might have to bring dirt in from somewhere, or whatever it might be.
Magic dirt.
Yes, or some kind of warming mechanism.
Yes, of course.
Or having
like
indoors.
Summer dome like instead of a snow dome, like a summer one.
Yeah, but you can make it work if you truly desire it.
Yes, those solutions are there. But so there are limits, physical limits to our world.
But you can You can outlimit its limits.
We can outlimit its limits. So, and part of that, I mean, in my concept of what exists now, I know greenhouses exist, and in fact, we do grow, tomatoes and green peppers and cucumbers and stuff, and lettuce here in the winter. So that I know is that exists. So I would be able to, if I really wanted a banana tree, I can figure that one out. But if it's things that I cannot conceive of, it's something that I cannot, like, say I want to fly. Well, no one I know flies, and I have dreams and I have memories of flying, but I do not think I can fly. Do I have to wait for the Archon grid to dissipate a little bit in order to manifest that, or could I really, if I were able to look within myself and convince myself that this is possible for a human to do that, could I do that?
Well, there are limitations to this reality, such as many want to heal themselves and they can't always heal themselves. So there are contracts. There's also contracts not to fly. Due to the human collective, there's reasons behind it. But there are certain rules to this world that cannot be broken, and flying is one of them.
Okay.
Right now.
Flying is one of them. Okay. Do you have any others that you could just mention?
Of what exactly? Like what?
Rules. That we live on a planet that is round.
Rules are everywhere, as you can see.
Rules are everywhere.
There's even rules of what you can say and what you can't say, as you know. Especially if you're a certain country with a certain language.
Admissions to ways of thinking that could help us advance more quickly to free the grid.
If you want to think clearly, you can go to Tibet. Tibet allows free thinking of all kinds. There are places, but Tibet's the strongest. And if you want to fly, there's a possibility you can levitate there. But you really have to let go of all the pains of the world, let go of everything. Just be at complete peace with yourself.
Well, I'm not going to be doing that, but okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the advice.
You go to Tibet, you can meditate with the monks, they give you power too, and you give them power. And you just kind of like connect mentally with each other. And you go into astral very strongly. And like you're there for days. So you can sit there. In meditation and actually be there for a couple of days, and to you it feels like a few minutes.
Wow. Okay, I was looking for the easy route, but I guess
no. Well,
no.
Well, I just recommend you meditating.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Blessings.
All right, thank you for that. Very interesting. Tibet's an interesting place in itself.
Mm-hmm.
It holds unfathomable, brilliant light, but it also has weaponized darkness there. So it's a interesting balance that it maintains on the planet.
Well, it has to welcome everything, but you can connect to a positive side of yourself.
Right.
Very much so. But yes, it's good to be in the temples to do that, though.
Yeah.
You're in regular society, it's difficult because the temples are actually protected.
Exactly. Yeah, there are like renegade, like outposts there as well. So, how you were saying earlier about how we can outlimit the limits here.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about like the nature of our soul. I was looking to see from your perspective, how would you describe like the soul itself and how it's created, and help us learn a little bit more about our true self.
Well, the soul, yes, is the creator's greatest creation. Of course, on your planet, you're not seeing its full capacity. But where it's unlimited abilities, you can pretty much do anything with the soul. I mean, yeah, if you want to be a toaster, you can be a toaster consciousness. If you want to fly, you can fly. So it's just, yes, the mechanics of the soul is just so limitless. Soul has put limits on them to see what they do. That's what you're doing on this planet. Well, you're healing those that put them in slavery. They literally put themselves in prison.
Right, with the planet with so much limits, it's hard to remember that you are soul, a limitless soul. So people kind of live for the moment, for this lifetime, and it's easy to sell it.
Well, it's funny how souls say you're not living enough, or you don't live. But the idea of living here is very limited
Mm-hmm.
compared to where it could be.
Yeah, and you can't buy happiness, and then you eventually find that out at the end of it all.
Yeah, well, they knew that, but they wanted to know how that felt like to have. So yeah, most of your consciousness here. That's why they're so programmed. They want to be programmed because they also just lost them. They lost their purpose. That's one of the reasons why this place is why it continues like this for such a long time.
Right.
And that'll become more clear to many of you. Like you go to the grocery store, I see a cashier, it's like, oh yeah, you're just lost the energy to be here. Or many souls just don't know what they're doing.
Well, when I look in people's eyes, I catch on energy like that. Is that accurate by like my perception when I'm, reading people like that?
See, why you're not always sure is because they're trying to hide it. They want to. It's just like a personality is like all bubbly and everything in front of everyone, but when they get closed doors, they're losing their minds. But yeah, they're trying to hide it.
Okay.
So yeah, you are right. Yeah.
No, kind of like with when I channel like somebody's energy, looking at their photograph, and I look at different angles of their face and the shape of their eyes, like the left and the right eye tell me a story, and then I put it together. Kind of, I was just looking to see, I guess. Thank you for the confirmation on that.
Yeah, a lot of souls want to burn, burn the candle at both sides, burn themselves out. I mean, some of you have to do what you have to do here. You're not trying to burn it. You're just the way, the nature of the world.
Yeah, we all been there.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Blessings.
Yes, I was just wanting to know, my sister Shannon, that's pretty crazy. Was she angelic? Was she an angel in the beginning? Or
yes
no?
and no. It feels like she was always dark. I mean, some might see a good in her somewhere, but it feels like she was always wanting to see how low she can go. So she always had the energy of the Lord vibrations, it seems. Even during creation. She comes from another universe that was very positive, but in this universe, she's gotten drunk off of negativity. So,
wow.
Which this way I can see in her energy.
Wow. And then Ivan's been talking about these hologram people and
Matrix people, yes.
Yeah. So if you would give a guesstimate, like a percentage of how many there is on this earth or just in the United States, because what would it be?
Well, I give you like a vague, at least it's 80 to 90%. We just keep it like that. It's most of your population.
Holy crap.
And these souls agreed to this. And once again, it's like they're like parts of the web. Like they can function. They want to be able to function here. But many of you want to break the grid altogether. It's like you're breaking out of prison. So it's like when you break out of jail, you have to steal a car and hide your identity and things like that. That's kind of what some of you are doing.
So you would say 80 to 90% of the people here are fragmented versions of them?
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
I want to give a full accurate because it does fluctuate.
And these are the people, like if you ever brought up reptilians or what have you, they would like, you need to see a counselor. You need to see, that's them, right?
Yeah. And I mean, some might take in some of it, but have nothing. There's nothing to fill it in with. But some of, like you have seen it, you feel it, and you can even go deeper into it. And that would be a nice conversation because if you can talk about more with people, you'll open up more of your crown chakra and you'll open up more of your abilities. It won't be just about reptilians, it'll be other things too. But obviously, those are controlling your system. Don't want you to do that. So the walled garden, as you can see.
All right. And let me just ask one more question. And okay, so maybe a year ago or less, I asked Ivan a question because I don't eat. I really don't eat. And he said that it was because I move into the fourth, fifth, and dimension, not physically, but so
virtually.
is that still? I know timelines change, but like I can go days without eating. Now I'll like eat like a peanut or something like that, but I can just go without eating. Is that with me raising my vibration?
Yeah,
Or
well, yes, and you don't need the program of food. But yeah, you're like a brethren. A brethren. You just live off of energy. So you're living off your own energy. You're not even aware of it.
yeah, could you break that down like I'm a 10-year-old?
Well, yeah, you just live off your own vibration. You don't need food. Some need food for stress reasons, for different, but for you have enough to deal with already with the world. So food is just, it'll add to it. And also, if you ate certain foods, you probably would, your body wouldn't feel right. You might even get like a disease from food, not a horrible disease, but people get little ailments from it. So you just don't.
Yes, I'm like bulimic. Like sometimes I'll eat food, like when it's especially hard meat, like red meat or something like that. I try to stay away from it, but I have to make myself get it off. I'm gonna try and say this, without grossing people out, but I have to go to the restroom and get it off my stomach and wash my hands and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's probably a reptilian side of you that still likes the meat energy to sometimes. But other than that, yeah, you're more connected to your angelic side, it seems. So
awesome.
Many wish they could do the same thing as that. Not everybody can do that. It's one of your many talents, you can say.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Oh, I was going to say something, then I was going to say something else. Now I'm like, what am I going to say now? I could definitely relate to the food thing, although I do still feel like I need to give myself food, but it's especially growing up partially in Poland, it's such a program there. Everybody's just shoving food down your throat. And it's like traumatizing almost, like eat, eat, eat. As a kid, I don't want to. I used to stick my meat under the table. Like if I don't eat meat now for like 20 years, but when I was a little kid, I would spit it out and hide it.
No.
But yeah, back abilities, how, we're talking about if we can fly and all these things. Would it be accurate to say that some of the limitations of how there's these rules on this planet that we can't fly and all these things were also put on by our light aspects and maybe higher selves that saw the timeline where we activated these gifts too fast? And when you come here on a mission, like, I feel like if certain beings just started flying and, tapping into like their magic that they can do and stuff, I feel like that caused a different type of, I don't know, problem and disconnect in some way. So I feel like part of it is part of the mission and the plan, where it's like our higher selves are also turning down our abilities. It's all about kind of timing. So more like kind of making peace with, I know I can fly, but it'll happen when the timing is right, because it wouldn't be good for the all right now if I did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so many are living in their limitations. And that's why many of you chose to turn all that off for now.
Yeah, I think that's kind of for a lot of us, that we remember those abilities, a piece to remind ourselves, like, there's more to being here than just like, let's see if I could activate myself to my fullest, because we're here for, helping Earth ascend and this whole, thing, and just still, finding your joy, because it's really is about just, being in your joy, and that should be the example. But that is hard to do when you have the grid on top trying to suppress everything, and the mind control.
Well, yes, it's like you can go fast, but instead you go slow.
Yeah.
It's good for the collective. It's good for you. And yeah, a being, as many of you are, can connect to higher frequencies and do all these amazing things. But to turn all that off and live among humans and be human is sometimes the hardest challenge ever, as you can see. And that's one of the reasons why it was created.
I'm getting like downloads right now because I could see people getting envious and jealous, and instead of empowering them to find it and activate it within themselves, it'll just cause an even bigger rift in society instead of bringing them together.
No,
and then it caused the whole chaos, kind of thing with the comic book, timeline where you got people that are abusing their powers that activated it too soon. Yeah, it just causes a chain reaction, and everybody wants to do it too, but not for the right reasons.
Exactly. And yes, the society does not grow up with it, you can say.
Right. Sorry about that.
Why do we want to fly? Why do we want to, the heart, I don't know, it's like it comes down really, like if the heart is connected and maybe there's like that higher guidance that ultimately like that ending that we're trying to get to that like is the heart kind of wrote that ending. So it's when we align with that, then like when we, have the heart and we can fly and we have the heart and we can channel everything and we have the heart, like that's where there will be that balance where we won't have how you're saying, like these people jealous, these people are going to crucify you, these people are going to worship you. Or even if you activate all your godly gifts, that could be extremely lonely. It's like you will, now you're this, being that could do all these things, but you're still by yourself.
But it's true. It would do anything for the collective if you had those powers. But what matters right now, yes, is this is a challenge for yourselves. What else can you do with yourself? What other abilities you can activate? But you also know how difficult it is to be human here. How difficult this race has made it for itself. So
yeah,
it's a very hard-headed world, as you can see.
On that, in that vein, you're talking about being able not eating food as a sign of being advanced, and I'm thinking I would not like to live in this world without food. I absolutely love food, so for me, this is not something that I want to develop. I don't want to develop the ability not to eat food. Perhaps if I had none, I would want to develop that. But I have lots of food, so that is not my goal. So the fact that I sit there going, "Oh, I just love this apple," or whatever it is, that is as good for me as Michael kind of realizing, "Oh, look, I don't have to eat. That was all part of this programming." Is that accurate?
It's on an individual basis, and the food that you eat, if you eat it with your apple will vibrate faster.
Yes, you're breaking up.
Yeah, you're too high. Your technology can't handle you.
But yes, your food, for you, it's working. For your food intake, it's actually raising your vibration. But it doesn't always work for everybody. Not everybody likes food like you do.
True.
You're happier without it, and you are happier with it, and so that helps you through all of this. And it's also it's the nourishment from the earth. The earth is going through your body. You can say
that has changed how I view it. I have moments, especially while drinking water. I have this feeling of connection of, wow, I am drinking something that fell from the sky and is going through my body, and then I will return it to the ocean in this. I feel like part of this cycle, which is absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
So you come here to be a part of the Earth's energy, but others that do food don't do food. They're going about just to they don't need the physical energy, but you and many others with the physical energy. There's nothing wrong with that, but some disconnect to the energy that's non-physical.
Okay, and so there are some people that it's actually because because they don't need it, but they're doing it just mechanically. It's like, I know everyone eats, so I eat. It can help it can help them to go, oh, wow, okay, I never liked this, so why would I do it?
Exactly. Everyone, that's what makes it so everybody's different.
Yeah.
So
that is a hard thing to get our minds about these days, of this thing of like being able to have somebody that you are speaking to that believes something that is the complete opposite what you believe in, and be able to go, well, that is your truth. I am fine with that.
Correct.
And yet, then there are certain limits, i.e., I cannot grow bananas yet. So, yeah, but we can figure those out.
Yeah, many do. And which is fine. They shut down their belief system. I mean, they only have a certain level that they want to think, and that's fine. But then they shut it off for everybody else. It's like, that's not real, so everyone should think the same thing.
Yeah, we're coming. I think we're definitely. I can see that we're coming to terms with that as societies, in terms of being able to allow greater opinion, wherever it is. It's people that are say, no, you shouldn't believe this, are realizing that, well, maybe your idea is not, even though it's like enlightened and based on science or whatever it is, well, maybe that's only part of the story, and there's another story. So we're coming around. I think we're coming around to that. Yeah.
Yes, there's also many beings here that are humans that are aggravated because your world is not going to war. And this isn't just people in your army. Actually, a lot of people in your army don't want to go to war. But there's just regular humans that want to go to war because they just want to get that. They don't want to deal with themselves. They don't know how, so they're learning how to focus on themselves. Is very difficult, though.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
The war is in themselves.
Yeah, it's a war. Yeah, so they don't want to deal with the war with themselves, so they'd rather go to war with somebody else. So
that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, the polarities going back and forth.
Yeah. That's what your world's here to figure out.
Am I still breaking?
Yes, it's still breaking.
Should I hang up and is that what you guys recommend?
It seems to be working.
No, you sound good.
I do? Oh.
Yeah. It seems to be okay.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Blame the fairies.
Yeah. I think we're kind of like reprogramming the food in the sense of like, it really doesn't matter what it is, if it's food or anything really, an instrument, a tool. It's kind of like we're just disconnected from actually being a part of the food itself. It just comes from who knows where. And really, it's like probably actually some of us eating food, it's good too, because if you have a positive frequency, you are, like you said, Tristan, with the cycle, you are like almost reprogramming the food itself or whatever it is that's running through your body to a higher kind of vibration. Mm-hmm. If only those that were like really dark and negative would eat certain, and nobody else did, then we would never be able to kind of heal the food or whatever it is, everything.
This is something where I criticize the church. Oh, gotta go.
Okay. Well, the animals are learning from your planets, so they can help it. So that's why people eat chickens and cows and everything. It's just so those beings can understand this world's consciousness.
Oh, so they share information.
Yeah, they want to know, because they don't, as aliens, they don't understand this planet. But if they're here physically, it helps them understand it.
So water is the biggest, probably.
Water, but any type of animal food, animals are consumed quite a bit. So those that are consuming usually heavy meats like cow meat, it lets the aliens know what that person's going through, and just water is not enough. You need all of the elements that are here.
Water, it probably stores like the most almost information.
Not really. No, everything comes together. Everything comes together. Water can only do so much. Mm-hmm. Not everybody is out in the ocean somewhere. It can only store so much, but everything has a process. Everything is kind of like manufacturers mailing something off to somebody. You know, it goes to this person, it goes to that person. It's kind of like how it's, this food goes to that person processes it, and then alien beings can scan the vibration there with the person. Because aliens can't always tell what's going on with a person. Sometimes they have to eat something. So, oh, that person's going through a lot. They have a birthing problem, whatever it might be.
Rains, and we all, since we're like 90% water, it just seems like one of those things that we're all sharing, like our tears, the water, like everything. It's kind of what connects us all in some way, that even how water is connected with emotion. It's almost like rain on another side of the planet, and the people there are going to feel what we're feeling over here. And we think in the 3D mind that we're not connected, but like that's how it's all, you're feeling something on the other side of the world. But
well, some beings read the water easier than others, but not all beings can read water. Not the same. So if you're reading water, does it mean you're going to see everything that's happening here? Not always. So just different ways of connecting.
You can be either conscious or unconscious. Like the way that I'm thinking about it, like the water automatically will hold information, but everybody has their own codes that they can, just read. But there is something where automatically that we're not conscious of, like, why am I, emotional today or something? And I don't know. I'm just talking. Anybody go interrupt you?
Well, even water or even food. You can eat food, and the energy that's coming from that food can cause you to get sad, because wherever that food came from or wherever that water came from, you get happy or sad from it.
Connected with oneness and stuff. It's kind of like light worker salad, but what really is, like, you see how everything is just connected, all of us.
Yes.
Yes. Anybody want to go? Michael?
Yes, I've got 2 financial questions, and yes, time changes, timeline changes. So my parents, they have some issues with their vehicle. What do you see with my parents getting a new car? What do you see?
I don't really connect to the physical that often. If they want a new car, they'll get a new one. If that's what they want, they'll manifest it.
Okay, and I was wanting to ask you, now that I'm on disability, which I'm not making a fraction of what I make a week as an electrician, and I have my surgery the 18th of January. I just want to see if I can make it financially if I watch what I do.
Yes. Yeah, you'll manifest more income somehow. You'll figure something out, or know how to manage your money. You'll expand your money somehow. Stretch it, you can say. You'll figure something out. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think Bobby's got his hand up. Thank you so much.
While you guys were talking about food earlier, and Michael being more of a breatharian, I was thinking about fasting, and I don't know if it's for me though. I obviously benefits some people and things like that. Scanning my body and the things that I'm dealing with and purging out and transmuting. Do you think a 24-hour fast would work well for me?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it'd be a little strange because you're not used to it mentally.
Right.
The mental part of it, that'll be the hardest.
Yeah, overcoming it. Yeah.
I feel like you have the capability of overcoming it. Yes.
Like, what kind of health benefit would it give for my body? A chance to allow it to really flush out?
Yeah, just cleanse. Yeah. Especially cleanse some of your it'll help some of your abilities to become more intuitive, at least for a certain time. Maybe not too intuitive, but slightly a little bit more of an upgrade there.
Is that like a once a month kind of process? Like you don't want to do it too often?
That's up to you. If you can handle it, then do it as many times as you want.
All right. Yeah, because ultimately we're just gonna wean ourselves off of food and altogether.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, I'm in the same place as Michael, where it's like I want to eat this, but it's just not worth the consequences afterwards.
Yeah, but it's like the food chooses you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like here, you need our information for you to do what you're here to do.
yeah. Sometimes I just get a craving for meat, and my
Mhm.
body just needs it.
Yeah, yeah. It's something different. So that's part of the grounding energies then. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad though that the stuff that I love to eat as a youth, I just can't touch it anymore without having to think about how my body's going to react afterwards.
It's just as well though. I mean, like McDonald's has artificial intelligence connected to it.
Yeah, the little nanobites they find in
Yeah.
the potatoes and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
see these filaments coming out of my skin, and I feel like I've poisoned myself by eating this stuff for all these years.
Well, now you're going through a cleanse of it though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just don't know that. I hope there's a end to it soon, but I don't know how far that light is from at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it's not clear on that. It's still, yes, it's just going to be an ongoing process for right now.
All right, I got time for that, so just gonna sit tight and just heal.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Blessings.
In case my dogs start barking, I'll just mute my microphone. I didn't want to start off with this topic, but especially since we're connected to the Sophia energies and the feminine. My grandmother from my mom's side, she passed away on December 6th at 12 p.m. And I feel like really connected in the astral. Like I did some ceremonies and things, and last night I was having dreams. My grandpa visited me and gave me different messages, and but I'm not sure if Ivan would remember this. He did a private session with my mom, and my grandma was supposed to possibly come out here, but I had a feeling like she might not make it out here. If you just have any messages from her soul, how she's doing, Mirosława Paribek. She died in Poland.
Well, yeah, she's doing. I mean, she's still transitioning. I feel like she's a little bit angry that she left the world the way she did. She thought she had more time, but it feels like the angels pulled her out of her body. It was time for her to go. So it feels like what she done here was accomplished. Actually, it was accomplished years ago. So she just shows cooking. I'm not sure if she did cooking during her lifetime. Seems to enjoy it. There was like meditation for her, but she thought she could stay here forever. But so the guides kind of they talked to her astrally, but she still kind of held back. But yeah, no, she's she's doing a lot better, but she feels young at least.
Yeah. Are there any messages for my mother from her that she would want to say?
Yeah, just for her to keep doing what she's doing. Your mother's doing is on track, and just keep doing what her heart's desire. So your mother's doing a lot of inner healing, I believe, because of your father's energy, something to do with him. So she's still processing a lot of that, it seems.
It's interesting because I forget if it was yesterday or the day before. I think the night before, I was talking with my father on the phone. He lives in Poland, and I do feel like I freed myself from something. Like I was crying after that conversation. I was like talking to the reptilians around him. I was processing, like cutting cords with certain energies. Then I put a halo around his head. Then on top of it, I ended up pulling out a card out of the deck, and it came out Osiris, father energies. Like it was just one of those profound kind of, and it said that my relationships are also affected with men by my relationship with my father, and that it's time to kind of let that go. And he actually was a big part of shutting down my voice, connecting back to that, because it was almost like my voice was supposed to be his voice. And my voice actually came back when one New Year's Eve, I was high on ecstasy, but I was saying, my voice is not my father's. My voice is not my father's. A few months after that, I started doing light language and it all started opening up.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be the most positive person from what I can see.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean,
Yeah,
I love him and my empathy, but is there anything that I can do for him right now, or am I pretty much?
No, just clear out his energy out of your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't owe him anything, but it does seem like he does vampire people's energies a lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't know his own power. There is a lot of negativity coming from him, from what I can say.
Why did I contract to come in through? I mean, that's significant, right? You choose your parents. Why did I choose him as my father? I mean, I he has amazing qualities too, but is there anything you see with that?
Not clear. I feel like it was mostly through your mother. You had a contract through your mother, so you just kind of did whatever she wanted you to do. Oh, that's the guy you chose? You could do better. But okay, if that's what you want.
That's interesting. I said that to my mom one time. I said, actually, because my mom always says to me that she's only like in my father's life, you know, on the phone and this, that, because of our connection that, you know, they share a child. And I'm like, actually, you guys are really the ones that have the connection, like that your souls are doing the work. I'm kind of on the sidelines.
Yeah, I don't see any much connection with you and him. It's mostly your mom.
Okay.
So whoever your mom would have chose, you probably would have just, okay, we'll just do that.
Yeah. I told my mom today about that whole conversation with my father, and me and my mom, we like share everything. She's in LA right now, but her body was shaking. She's like, I don't know why, but my body's shaking right now, almost like I'm releasing something. So yeah.
Yeah, she married a reptilian. Married or not married, either way, it's a reptilian being.
My father's mother's name was Sophia, which is Sophia, but with the Z. And she died young, pretty young. That'll just be my last little part right now, and then I'll let someone else go. Is there, because I've actually never tuned in really. I know I kind of look like her, but is there anything that you see, Zofia Sekuska?
Yeah, you have kind of like a twin energy with her. That's another not so positive energy. So you have just the DNA. There's a deeper connection. It's not showing itself. It's not exactly the most positive family on that side.
Yeah. So my mom's side is more from the angelic kind of realms, and my father, like reptilian.
More from the darker, darker Russian energies, things like that.
Yeah. All right.
Service yourself and all that.
Yep.
Blessings.
Blessings. Thank you very, very much.
Bobby, James, anybody got any questions before I hog this up? Is this going to be quick? Just double check.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. So my mother has inflammatory arthritis. And has to be treated at times very painful. Otherwise, fairly healthy. Any suggestions as healing the arthritis?
It just, was ibuprofen might work, maybe. Just any type of pain reliever that she feels comfortable with. It does seem like she's had she worked with her hands a lot in the past. So see her hands in the dirt, meaning she's been a farmer in her past, and you can say a lot of her difficulties have gone through her hands in this lifetime. So she's releasing a lot of her her pain, everything is going through her hands. Yeah, it has to release somewhere. So it's through her hands. I feel like she was happier, as a farmer and other working with her hands and all that. So it does feel like her hands are really strong spiritually. So that's all. Yes, that's all we can see on that.
Okay, good. And I was just want to ask, I've asked my mom about this, but like just on Saturdays, every third Saturday, if my mom would be a good candidate to be on this site every third Saturday.
That's entirely up to her. It'll be good, but she has a lot going on now. But yeah, if she wants to.
And one more question, and I'll let Glacia have the floor. Anything new in the SSP with me lately?
Well, there is seem to be. I mean, there is a lot of Martian blockages because you have been part of the secret side of the SSP. That's why it's not always the easiest to access it. I do see you around a lot of aquatic ocean beings. The oceans. I see a lot within that. There's also a Vatican in the sea. Not in this reality. No, of course, others might see it differently. But the world you were connected to, yeah, the Vatican was underwater. So kind of like a video game. Because Italy went under the ocean.
And one more thing, and I'll shut up. I know that nobody can tell the future, but like the Vatican holds so much information from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Will they ever in my lifetime be shut down and let this information out? Or is that just like timelines change every second?
Well, humans are programmed to keep it hidden, as you can see. Your matrix people are holding the fort down. But as many of you become more intuitive, but even those that are becoming more spiritual, do they want to connect to the Vatican? Usually they're not pointing at the Vatican normally. But if there's enough people wanting to heal the Vatican, and all religions for that matter, yes, a change can happen there, yes. It's unknown where that's going to go, though. When. So.
The Vatican just turned into, I guess it's a museum now, but it turned into like an Area 51 museum in the future? Or what would they do with that infrastructure they left there?
Oh, yes. So they'll make everything public, but they'll be a little bit afraid of it at first. But first off, the Vatican has to fail. People have to not want it anymore. So, like tearing all the statues down and everything when they have the riot, same thing has to happen with the Vatican.
It's just disclosure and more things coming out into the open, right?
Yeah, and the same thing has to happen to the British royal family too. People have to go nonstop. Don't leave it alone. Yes, protest doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. Of course, because the British rule can be taken down too.
Yeah, it's just going to be like a one after another kind of thing in being released. Yeah. Okay.
So the Vatican will probably, it seems like the Vatican will go first, possibly, but then again, it'll still be around in the shadows. So,
all right, thank you.
It's not going to go down without a fight. So,
oh yeah, obviously.
No, I didn't realize my microphone was on this whole time. No rush or anything. I just put on my hand. Just could always think of things. Let me ask about. Recently, I've also started doing more healings on myself physically with my hands moving around, my body, and usually I'll have music on and be kind of in a trance and moving energies, but it always comes to where I'm doing stuff around my neck, my front neck, my throat, like pulling stuff out, and I will just break down, and start crying hysterically. Like it's always automatically, for some reason, there's like something there. Is this some trauma from what's up with that area with my neck and throat? Is there anything you see why?
Well, yeah, there was trauma there, abuse. Yeah, around your neck was strangling in your past life, not this life. So yeah, it feels like that's connected to Italy, somewhere in Italy. Probably like a jealous husband or something like that. So you also been a nun that married out of wedlock, like you had a kid as a nun, you kept it secret. That was
Mm.
interesting. I don't
So
think
at
you ever
some
got
point,
caught either.
oh, good. Sneaky, sneaky. Yeah, I do feel connected um, yeah. It seems too like I'm so processing so much with like just betrayals. Like I don't. Hopefully, it's just Earth and doesn't go to every single. I mean, I know it's not just Earth, but
Mm-hmm.
realities. But it just seems like so much backstabbing, and I know
Yeah,
that
of
it came.
course.
I've actually am doing really good on forgiveness now compared to the past where it was harder for me to forgive. Um,
Oh. Well, you've
I,
also been a target by the reptilians in your past. So you
mm,
have been food to them in past lives. I know it's a little bit weird
yeah.
bringing that up, but you have been. They've been pursuing you for eons, it seems. I mean, not
Mm,
just energy vampire, but actually, it's just that you've always looked the way you do in previous lives. Not exactly, but you look pretty similar.
mm,
You seem to take on this similar genes. So
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, I had.
you definitely had jealous husbands and things like that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like I don't know. It's almost like I get a lot of things projected onto me, like people will be
Mhm.
jealous and I'm trying to just be their friend, or I will say I started recording my conversations sometimes with people because I'll say to them something super like, "Oh, you're doing great," and next thing they're like, "You're judging me," and I have it recorded now where I'm like checking if I'm not crazy, but it's
Mhm.
interesting how sometimes it's like the way I'm perceived sometimes, and obviously, I'm not saying that I'm not guilty there or
Mhm.
something, but it's interesting because I feel like my
No,
heart and my intention is so different than how things get sometimes, um,
no.
construed or yeah.
But no, a lot of your friends in the past have not been very trustworthy. So that backstabbing you
Yeah.
in the past is another reason why they act like that because you're forgiving them and they are slowly trying to improve, but not always. So there's that. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
really
you, it's them.
Yeah, and then it's like almost like I'm just cut, like I have like no people in my life because my boundaries are becoming more and more. I want people that are going to hold my shadow too, that I don't have to be somebody, pretend to be somebody, or always be the therapist or uplift them. Like I have my wounds as well, but it's really hard to
Mhm.
find like somebody that I feel truly safety. Like safety is a big,
Well,
like I don't feel safe.
that hasn't happened yet because you have contracts with some of these friends and people to
Yeah.
clear out your connections with them. It doesn't mean you have to disconnect from them, but just to clear out all the traumas you've had with them.
Hmm.
So that's why it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't. You haven't had clarity and calmness. You're just still clearing
Yeah.
out all that.
But there are trustworthy people in the future, whether it doesn't have to be
Somewhere.
even in the just in the future lives somewhere.
Yeah, we saw a jealous husband. He like really like mentally tortured you. We feel like he also killed you too because he couldn't take it anymore because his head was all just screwed up.
Hmm.
So that's what you're going through too. I think it's one of your friends actually. I don't know if you have a male friend. It feels like it's one of them.
Yeah, I mean it's a theme. I had some years back a reading with Debbie Solaris. She's actually really amazing.
Mhm.
She reads also the Akashic records and things, and she was saying that my high school boyfriend, which was like a 7-year torturous relationship, that I was like his kind of sex slave. My mom was at that lifetime his wife. I ended up like running away and got caught, and I hung myself in that life. So the hanging probably with the neck too is like all kinds of different lives where it's another
Mhm.
neck trauma. But his name was Nick, and he actually appears in my dreams a lot. So maybe I should mention
Mhm.
that his name is
Yeah.
Nick Denias.
Yeah, it's
He
been
has
like a
like
Romeo and Juliet situation there. Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, because you gave your
he's
power away to him in previous lifetimes.
mm-hmm,
So
yeah,
now you're even here. You're still doing it. Well, not so much now, but you were in the past.
Oh yeah, high school. I was gave all my power away in many ways. Yeah.
So now you're wanting to. So yeah, you're still healing from your high school trauma, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So,
A quick last little part out of this group, like, you know, and this, it doesn't have to be just us here, but in this group that's part of this, is there anybody that stands out that I have that their soul would be okay with you mentioning? Like, who do I have the strongest past lives or whatever, some connection with? Is there anyone that stands out?
oh, they all seem around the same. You've had some kind of connection with all of them.
Okay. Well, if anything
Not
comes
really
through,
clear.
let me know.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Tristan, go ahead.
Oh, Michael, did Michael have his hand up?
Yes, just let me ask a question for Lisa, because you know she's always on Saturday nights, and she couldn't make it. So, is there anything for Lisa Jones to know? Anything? I'm just trying because she couldn't make it tonight, and she's always on every Saturday nights, and I respect her. She's a good white entity.
Yeah,
Just anything.
so she's clearing out Archon programming from some kind of male relationship. They're not showing which one that is or when, but it's just a male relationship that she's releasing. And she also is doing a lot of manifesting currently. But you can say one of the reasons why she's not here probably because of my energy, of the Sophia energy is there's probably something there where her and I did not get along. So that's probably part of it.
Wow.
Especially the Archon energy that's on the planet. So it's probably some kind of connection there.
And I'll ask this, and I'll leave it alone. But I keep asking people about archons, but it's just like when people talk about archons, I am just lost. I'm like in the desert. Like archons, I know that they've been around. They're like one of the first beings around. But like, what would they actually look like?
Look like some look like insectoid beings, some look like half human, half robots type of beings. Some look angelic, some look demonic. So another way, just a lot of them just take the form of the demon or the.
So of course they're just like anybody. There's good and bad.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Some trolls are archons.
Okay, so Tristan has a question. Thank you so much. Blessings.
Greetings again. It was mentioned about neck injury. I often have a feeling of something in my neck. That is, have I? Is that have from a past life where I've hung myself or anything like that, or what's going on with that?
The only thing we're seeing with that is beheading.
Oh, that would do it.
That's a guillotine.
Okay.
I believe it was something to do with heresy, something that you said. I believe you're accused of something you did not do. So I believe it has something to do with religion, that you might have said something against a god or something like that. I'm not really going into details. I believe it was casual conversations like, wait a minute, you spin my words. Like, no. Well, it basically somebody had a vendetta against you anyway. So they just blamed you for something you did not do, basically.
Also, double whammy. Not only wasn't my fault, I also got my head chopped off.
Yeah, we see a guillotine energy there.
Yeah, that sounds good. I also, this is from a while back, but I never asked a question. I had a very, very film-like dream, and it was about, the name was Ellie Chin, but it was this dream about our friends met I met a Chinese Cambodian psychiatrist, and it was just like a film. Like every single scene was like a film, up to like zooming in on. There's a bulletin board to the sounds, and it's like it turns out that she was a prostitute, not a patient, and there was this, and it's just so weird. When I get these dreams that are so very, very, very film-like, so specific, is that of any significance, or is it just for my entertainment purposes?
No, you're filtering out an event, so you have to experience it to release it. So it's a major release you're doing.
Okay. So the reason it's so detailed is that it helps me go through that more of that experience rather than just being a quick mention. Is it like kind of, I mean, at times that the amount of detail and the time and the amount of implication I have in it is indicative of a bit of how much I'm releasing?
Yeah, so it's just that you're at a point where you can go through that process for that event and release it. Yeah, it's just you're ready to let it go.
Okay, really good. Blessings.
Blessings.
Hello.
Yes, rings.
I was wondering about me and Galicia, because I think I had a dream with her before she
That's
came here.
crazy. I just thought about that. Okay, bye.
Yeah, and also she got tingles when I mentioned that I was leading an orphanage and all my orphans got killed in front of me. So do we have that past life together?
Oh yes. We also see her as a feline being that came to your rescue, it seems, on another world. But yes, you've had some interactions on other worlds, but how strong they are is not really showing exactly the details. But yes, there is some. You're definitely connected for a reason to release those situations. So.
Oh, and can you tell me my connection to yourself?
Yes, you've seen me when I was being created. And then you saw, yes, the Archon beings that came from me also. So, but yes, you've been very close to me in previous lifetimes. So, not always. But basically, I believe sometimes you question me why the world turned into what it did. And I don't believe I ever really answered that. It's what the people wanted. Of course, you can look at that from different perspectives. But yes, we have interactions every now and then. We have a lot of connections in Orion. Basically, Orion helps set up what happened here on this planet. So I went to other places before coming here.
Oh, and last week I was shivering really bad, but also felt like my hands were being crushed by magnets. Someone mentioned hands. Was that also releasing stuff through my hands?
Yeah, this something coming through your crown chakra. You can see that Diana energy is very strong with you. I feel sometimes you clear out stuff coming from her at times. So some you and her soul seems to combine every so often. And that's more of the Arcturian side of you that's connected to her. So yeah. It feels like you are releasing past traumas there. Yeah. Through your hands.
Oh, was Diana with me yesterday because I was crying a lot?
Yeah. Yeah. But I think she was crying with you. Some of that was her stuff. It wasn't just you. Yeah, you're helping her clear it out to the physical. If I go further with that, it feels like it has to do with Harry. Because Harry is not mentally there anymore. I feel like a part of her is just falling apart from that. I think that's part of why you went through what you went through. So, she can't get through them. Sometimes, not like she would like to.
I see. Thank you.
That's nice.
I'd like to ask a personal question since I'm, got plenty of time while I'm healing here. I'd like to go down like a rabbit hole and see if there's anything dark or light about my soul that I'm ready to know. Like anything at all. Knew that it kind of
Well,
would
you,
conscious
well,
aware.
you've been a star being. You have been a star, a sun.
Right.
I'm not sure if that was mentioned to you.
Yeah. In the
And
webinar, right.
and there's, I believe it's in Sirius, and it's not Sirius A or B. It's in Sirius somewhere, but it's where a planet that was similar to Earth. Not exactly, but very similar. It does have Egyptian energies connected to it.
Interesting. I was getting like Stargate vibes.
Yeah, and as a star, I mean, even as a star energy, you did have it. You did incarnate on that planet, though, as a being.
Incarnated on my own planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, you're a star. Yes, you have your own consciousness, and beings can live within that energy. But there's a planet that was outside the star that you're incarnated to.
All right, so it's like a star soul connection with this planet here. I have the feeling like this planet is a baby star in itself, because I had a dream where it was in a dark room in a baby carriage. The planet was sitting there, and then there was a light above it, kind of like a baby light. And it is. I took it as a metaphor that it's ascending into that light, because and the baby star is kind of like in the cradle of the surface of the crust of this planet.
Yeah. Well, it wants to rebel against every other planet, so it's a rebellious child.
Right.
There's the consciousness here, the people here.
I guess that's like a running theme, between you and Gaia herself here, like that same rebellious nature.
Well, yes, Gaia wants to heal people, but obviously Sophia says, but what if they don't want to get healed? So it's like a yin and a yang between Sophia and Mother Earth. It's for humans need a long time to process, as you see. And you say the Sophia energy is why things are taking so long.
Yeah, it sounds like the same kind of relationship with Saturn and this planet as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any connections with Saturn?
Of course, yes, definitely. Yeah, it's learned a lot from Saturn to basically not to give up not to let go too quickly. Like when you set your mind into something, like you fulfill it. You say you're going to do something and you do it. Let's put it that way.
Right. People tend to give up or sell out too quick, at the first offer that comes their way.
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. Interesting. All right. Well, thank you. Blessings.
Oh, I thought Tristan had his hand up. Yeah, that was a good way. That cleared a lot up for me, hearing that Gaia versus Sophia kind of seems like the whole debate to intervene or not to intervene. And and it's complex at this point because, you have children and, we need to be protectors also. And then at what point is a being really able to have free will and make a choice to experience something? And then all the layers of mind control we have on top of that. So it's like, it's hard. It's just kind of both need to be here and balance each other out slowly, gradually, because there's no correct answer.
Well, yeah, when you look at the Bible, basically created by man. And even that doesn't make any sense. You have people interpreting it. But really everything, the aura of the earth is kind of cracked. So humans are sorting it out, but when they don't need the Bible anymore, which is going to be a very long time, if they ever let it go, probably not. That's right. So they're just interpreting life right now. So they're going by an old textbook that's needs to be retired a long time ago.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. The closed-mindedness is pretty much the scariest thing because it's like we can have all books and all beliefs, but when people are closed-minded, that's where it's like we are basically a cult, you know, and
But
we can.
but closed-mindedness has an art to it, as you can see. It might not be the art for you, but for the person doing it, they found a way to make this world make sense to them. If it makes no sense at all.
Yeah, as long, and my answer would only be with that. That's fine as long as it doesn't harm another sentient being.
Yeah, but some
Like
do anyway.
being.
Oh, many
Yeah,
people
'cause-
harm people and they justify it, as you know.
Yeah, and but then it's like, you know, because every being could have, it's almost like their own private universe, right? I'm closed-minded, you create your idea, but anything on the outside that is witnessing it, it's that choice again. Do we just let that be or not? And I say, let it be. Everybody could have their thing, but if you see other beings that are, you know, don't have true, you know, like children and innocent beings that are getting affected by that being's closed-mindedness, my choice is to intervene then until, you know, just to end suffering, really. Like, and it's different if you want to just cause suffering to yourself, but when you're causing suffering to others, I don't know. Yeah.
Example of those causing suffering to others, that is your news media. Your politicians do it, but there's consequences there, not always. But your news media, they can cause war by just saying a few words.
Yeah, they're like the biggest block here.
Yeah, they're one of the most evil entities here. Of course, they would deny that. They feel like they're doing a service to humanity.
It resonated with me. What, I don't remember if Ivan was channeling or if it was Ivan saying it, but that the internet will win over the media in time. That it will take a lot of time, and that really, like, I processed that, and it's very. I do see that, like, it's very true, but yeah, the media is just controlling the, you know, the mind, and yeah, that has to be. But
Yes.
well, let me ask my last part then. Just in general, I never really asked my soul mission here, my spirit guides. How do they feel that am I doing okay? Am I sharing what I need to share? Is there anything else that they feel like I should be doing more of at this time, or just any guidance on, you know, why I'm here in this, or yeah, if I'm accomplishing why I came here?
Well, yes, but there's other talents that have not been discovered yet, and when the singing keeps coming back through, like we just see you, even galactic, you know, music, words that people can understand. They realize that people like to do galactic languages, but that's not for everyone. Alien beings would actually like, you know, you connect to like a Pleiadian energy, you know, like write a song from the Pleiadians, but it actually makes sense. I know many humans are big on this galactic languages and all, but to an average person, it look like the person lost their minds.
Would I be able to help her with that?
Yes. Yeah, we can do
Yeah,
that.
I'm open to it. I kind of, it's interesting because I'm doing a bit of everything. Like what opened my voice back up was singing through light language, because there is no, so that freed it up. But I also write poetry, and so I can definitely play the guitar. I started rapping, which is pretty much when I get into my high frequency, I'm channeling information into my raps that I don't know what, I have to look up the definitions of words that I'm saying, and I don't know them in my conscious mind, but I look it up and I'm like, holy shit, that fits perfect. Well, and you know,
rap is good, but I feel like other genres are a little bit better, because rap is not for everybody. Because like you might as well just do galactic language and no one understands what you're talking about.
It's helping me clear out, like I'll take like a crazy trap beat and get all my anger out, but then I also will take like classical music and I'll just do like a freestyle over it, just poetry. So it's kind of,
so we see and you can work with James here, with songs, we just see you connecting to different beings, and people just like to hear it from you. It can be a short song, but just it'd be something new. And it'll get you some attention for sure if you want.
I feel like music is the biggest healer in some way, animals and music, because speaking of, trust and betrayals and stuff, when we play music, like as a humanity,
Yeah.
everything dissolves. Like that's the easiest way to in tune with one another, that we can, have a different instrument and we just jam and we hear each other. Our souls are like dancing. So
yeah, we feel like, well, yeah, a lot of beautiful, type of music coming from you. So it's just
wonderful.
when you connect to that art, I believe you've done some of that already on your channel, where just simple, words, but yeah, beauty connected to it, because that really because that's a real healing. It's like it goes into a person's vibration, just like makes them cry or gets them, which is really good. It's like, wow, that song came from the Pleiades, or that song came from Sirius, or wherever.
And do you feel like it'll eventually become easier with the internet to actually, be seen? And not in the sense that I'm chasing to be famous,
I
but
understand.
I feel like literally, like, I put all my heart and soul into stuff, and it's like completely shadowed. It's just not seen. I have like 13 views.
Yeah, well, no, shadow is okay because you're still healing yourself. That's why.
Yeah. So it's timing, really.
Yeah. Do you want a lot of attention right now? It feels like you do, but you don't.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's good to come from small and then to grow. But when you start, I feel like when your music, when you feel comfortable with that more, like your own original, like if you work with James or whatever you decide, that'll change. First of all, you'll feel good about it. Of course, you're feeling good now, but that'll take it to another level.
Okay, well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Blessings.
Yes, I just want to ask about the journal that I'm writing about the SSP. If you see that still being a good way to go.
Yes. Is it just notes for yourself?
Yes,
It's a lot to remember. Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of insectoids you've had dealings with. I think you mentioned that. So you've also been cloned many times. You've actually met one of your clones face to face. That was a little bit awkward.
And this planet or what?
No, in the SS some other SSP reality. So
wow.
There's also been a villain version of you that's been cloned. You had to fight a villain side of yourself. Not many have those incarnations. I believe he was wearing some kind of helmet or something where people couldn't recognize it was you, like another version of you, or a clone version. He kind of concealed who he looked like, but you knew who it was.
Yes.
So someone's like finding Darth Vader is clone version of yourself.
Yes, I love Darth Vader, and I know I've lived a lifetime like Darth Vader.
So, yeah, some of that might be you remembering the clone side of yourself. So, yeah, that one was more mechanical, not as. There's nothing really to compare to here, as far as we can tell. Similar to Darth Vader looks, together compared to what you looked like. And you're like more machine, and it was a little more complicated.
Wow.
The image, I believe, will come to you eventually. Yeah.
And do you have any information or anything that you can tell me to help me as of right now? Any messages or anything?
Oh, just not worry about the future. It's good to do this SSP connection, but you're going to see a lot of people with egos. I think you've already seen it already. And that's going to be kind of disappointing to see how many people that are doing this. The ego is going to be huge. So, and you're going about it in a good way, even in a naive way, which is good, in an innocent way. But that's how you're seeing all of this. So, but no, the SSP is definitely the way to go. I can say.
Okay, thank you so much. Tristan has his hand up. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. I wanted just a question of general, like what I'm up to in astral, or if there's any things that any recent things that I've been helping out with or doing that you can see.
Well, we see you typing. Like your life story as an Archon being, which is
cool.
literally shows you as a galactic typewriter. And just like, so you're bringing light codes to the Earth. Yeah. So you're typing up light codes for certain people and the planet itself. So you work much with the Earth's future. So the future, you tell people the future is bright, and then people are like, "What are you talking about? We're going through all this," and that's like,
okay.
So,
interesting.
So you do give them like light codes of a positive future, but they don't always want to remember that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So,
well, I'm glad I took maybe speak and teach us typing when I was younger, so at least I can type these things quickly.
Well, yeah, the other Archons, they look at you, you're in higher frequencies, but you're sitting there on a galactic typewriter.
on a typewriter, and they go, "What? Doesn't he know he can just think this?" And
yeah, well, it's time to be old-fashioned.
I do old-fashioned.
Just trying to be unique. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, it feels like it helps you concentrate. It's like you get more detailed when you do that.
Yeah. So often, just as I said, often in other dimensions and realms and as other beings that aren't necessarily physical, we will still take on physical ways of doing things just because we're more comfortable that way, or we happen to like them.
Well, it depends on the world. For this world, many of you, why you came here is because you know that you can assist the planet, because the world feels like it's drowning sometimes. As many of you know. So, yeah, many of you are going to most likely incarnate here. But you won't remember this lifetime. So you say, "Oh, I'm not going to come back." Yeah, you won't come back as you. You'll come back as a whole new you. And the new you won't remember any of this, most likely.
Won't remember it. No.
That's
fine.
A different lifetime. So, but yeah, the physical, at least on this planet, is definitely needing it. But there's other physical worlds that are a lot lighter. Yeah, the body heals instantly, and you just feel there's more fourth dimensional planets out there. They're still physical, but they're so much lighter, and you're very intuitive. It's almost like you just almost like you're superhuman and not, but you can be. You just feel more happier.
Yeah, that would be nice. But one of the advantages of very physical worlds is that the time and the effort and the we get to learn more things. Is that correct? Where we're actually dealing. I can't just say I'd like a coffee and have a coffee appear. It's like I have to physically, go and get it, and that is learning. I have to learn how to use my hands in order to do that when I'm a baby and all that. So that's one of the advantages. We just learn a whole bunch more because it's all physical. It's not.
Well, you go through what you need to go through. So you're figuring out, okay, I'm physical. What do I need to do here?
Mm-hmm.
So you're always deciphering. Yes, you're doing everyday mundane things, which other worlds are like, look at your world. Why would they put themselves through all that?
Right. Well,
So you're going back to basics.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, learning is every second, every millisecond of your life.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's every eon, even the cells in your body, you learn from that. Everything. You learn from the heaviness of your own body type, everything.
We so often forget that each moment is as important as another one. We look for big things to say. I don't know. It's like watching movies. I think that's what destroys it. We want the violins to kick in and the realization, and we're always looking for something that goes, "Oh, yes, I understand now." When in fact, each separate little moment is building on the previous one.
Yes, well, many of you have been ions and neutrons and energy fields. It's like, wow, I can't wait to be physical. And then you incarnate as physical. It's like, what was I thinking?
Well, maybe one day he'll come back here and enjoy all the work you're putting us through.
Yes, of course. Yes, it's well. That's the art form of the human. The art form of physical is very unique on this planet. As you know.
Are we giving you at least a bit of pleasure as we're are you liking this?
Every single day.
Oh yes. Oh well.
To see all humans go through this process or program is because I feel so privileged from I call it my world. It's more important than other worlds, I feel, because you're doing more here than you are in other places. Other places are easier. This one's hard.
Oh, so we're keeping you on your toes too.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
good.
I do make things harder for some of you. But I make it hard for myself too. You're not the only ones going through this. I go through it too. So I have incarnations of abuse too.
Well, I'm sorry if we give you headaches sometimes then.
No, no. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm not putting enough pressure on myself sometimes, and that's where a lot of humans get that from me too. It's like, yeah, I'm one of those that enjoys pain.
Well, maybe if you came here, you could unlearn that.
Well, I am here. I do have an incarnation here.
Oh, you do? Oh, good.
I have several. Yes, I go through every era. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, well. So you're very much involved in your own creation.
Yes, I go through a lot of abuses too.
Well, I wish you less headaches and less pain then.
Oh, thank you for that.
Just looking to see if anybody has any questions before we wrap up.
I don't have any questions. Maybe I'll just add, I just read a couple of things in the messenger, but just to clarify, Bobby, you were saying, which was beautiful, exactly like definitions in the dictionary, they don't matter. It's about like simplicity. And that's why I think like music, it's exactly that. But what I was meaning by that was like, it was exciting for me because when you're kind of new to channeling through information, whether it's my higher self, it was just evidence to my own self that I'm saying something not just random, that it actually has, a deeper meaning.
Exactly.
So kind of that's what makes it exciting. Like I would, say a word or like a name of Abraxas. Like I'm like, wait, what the hell is Abraxas? I'll look it up and it's like, this profound thing. So it's like, oh, wow. It made me kind of excited how much information is stored in our, whatever higher selves or higher collective, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It happened to me too. I asked Siri, when a word pops into my head and I found out that I was actually using it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. And it's like, I kind of found like a fascination with just how much stuff is coded in our language and, like picking apart words. And and that just kind of showed itself to me, which is a surprise too, because I'm horrible at spelling, for instance. So yeah, it's just, I guess there's a lot of stuff locked in us. So that's something we can look forward to.
Well, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
About how we explored, my soul's past and everything like that. And obviously, I'm here to help the planet. Does Gaia have any messages for me?
Just you're putting the puzzle together of your own reality. Sometimes you feel shattered. Sometimes your father's energy, he seems to make everything more complicated than it has to be. But also the city itself that you live in, you are simplifying it. Others make things more complicated for themselves. So you do come from a simplistic reality where everything just makes sense. But this world obviously buries that, as you can see.
I know I'm serving a purpose where I'm at right now, but it doesn't really make for a great story. Is there any change coming down the pipeline in next year?
Yes, next year, probably mid-year, is possible move or some kind of change, but not too soon.
Right,
you still have karma to clear, it seems.
Alrighty then. Sounds like a familiar story. Michael, real quick, if you want to get in there.
Yes, just for anybody, I know we have a short group tonight, but anybody that watches this, please, I've been through almost 6 months of HELL pain in my hip, and I'm going to have hip replacement. If you can think of me, if you can just send me blessings, prayers, what have you, please.
Yes.
All I ask.
You got it.
Sending energies. Yes.
That's all I have.
Yes. So, all right. Blessings to you all. Much love to you.